Hey there guys, hope everyone's doing alright. Today's only going to be a short stream. You can see the time in the bottom right of the screen. I'll probably stream until about 9 o'clock. I'm going to play some games with some friends. But yeah, so just to kind of continue from where we left off, I left a render going on, I think Friday overnight, was it? Yeah, I think so. Oh no, it was overnight on Thursday, so after the stream. That render came out like this, so if I just zoom out. So it's starting to get somewhere. This background feels it feels very CG. Obviously he still feels very CG as well, but he's starting to make some progress. But yeah, so in terms of what we're going to do today, again, with it just being a short stream, I'm just going to clean up a few little things that are bothering me. First off is the fact that he only has eyelashes on the open eye currently. Granted, the model's not in its final place yet, so it could be premature to start adding guides in such a compressed area that requires so much work. But you know, we'll see how it goes. And there's a really small fix I want to do, which is I added more melanin to the beard hair, and it feels too much like salt and pepper now. I like the new density, but like, it doesn't look as dense as it actually is, just because some hairs are so dark compared to the others. So I'm gonna fix that. There's also something really weird going on in the collar over here. I haven't figured out quite where that's coming from yet, so I'd like to have a look at that at some point. But yeah, but this render went for 8 hours. Granted, it is a large resolution. It's like, I think it's the equivalent of 4K but vertical. I can't remember the numbers, but yeah. At 4K if you like crop the middle out of it. But 8 hours is excessive, and I think that's just because like this collar is just so heavy. I've not spent time to make it look good, or to make it like render well. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's not perfect yet, but you know, obviously there's quite a lot of time to go. I do need to add a head hair groom at some point. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. I also still need to add like variation to the beard, like get some long hairs in there. But for now, yeah, in terms of just getting something done today, I'm going to quickly fix the shader, like take it down to like 0.3 melanin rather than 0.4 or something on the darkest hairs. And then start placing some guides for the other set of eyelashes, and maybe look into the background, getting a more interesting kind of cloth thing going on, because currently it's modeled like by hand very quickly, so it's very flat. It's just like one fold, which is showing up as a line. So I'll look into that. But yeah, overall it's looking all right. The lighting definitely did us a lot of favors. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna start getting on with that. So first off, let's get the melanin of the beard. That's the peach fuzz. Stubble. Okay, so if I go into the hyper shade. Cool, so this is going to have melanin, so I just want to reduce this. I think it was set to 0.2 before, so I'm going to go 2.5. So that'll just lighten up the hairs. We could add a touch of diffuse on those, so I'm going to set it to like 0.5. And that will just make the hairs feel a little bit more opaque. It's not necessarily accurate, but it's fine. But yeah, so let's... Do I want to do stubble? No, I'll leave that for now. Okay, so eyelashes. So if we go to here, no, not there, here, go to eyelashes. Yeah, so currently that's what it's set to. I would love to just mirror this, but I can't, just because it's not the same left and right like world space. So let's start getting some information on these guys. So if I just hide the render group, I'm going to edit you, go to the tool settings, okay, and find out what length these are, attribute paint. Okay, so let's call it 0.5. Cool, so we need to set the initial length to 0.5. And number of CVs, we can go a little bit lower. Let's go 0.5, so that'll give us 10 CVs per curve. And yeah, let's start getting, oh, I do need to resample these guys because they're getting really low. Resampling. Okay, let's just quickly fix this. Where's my Wacom pen gone? There it is. What's going on here? Okay. How's this? I'm gonna go to Wacom settings. Ah, why? Okay. Why has it failed? I'm just gonna try unplugging it, plugging it back in. I don't think that will help, but let's test. Is it possible to restart the Wacom properties? It's not down here, is it? Okay. In that case, I guess we'll have to ignore the Wacom stuff. Maybe I can look into doing some proper cloth sim for the back here. Yeah, that might be the best way to go. So rather than restart my computer midstream, I may as well do something helpful. Okay, so eyelashes we're not doing. Let's just quickly show all the grooms and save our scene. I'm gonna unplug the Wacom and get it off the desk just to get a little bit more space. And let's see. Oh. Sorry if it's making really loud noises. There we go. Okay, so no Wacom today. So let's work on the background curtain, unless there's something else. What else isn't working? Well, obviously the caruncles, I do need to do a proper pass of those, but I'm going to wait until I've got the model looking the way I want. Other than that, there's nothing, other than like sculpting changes, there's nothing that jumps out as broken. The cap is the wrong shape. If we look at the ref, mine's got more of a kind of rise to it. It feels almost like it's flat, then down, then flat again, whereas this is much more gradual. So we'll need to do that at some point. It's also got more of a gap from the head, so I need to kind of inflate this a little bit. And I still need to figure out what this is exactly. Because this looks like it's his hairline, but I don't know what it is. It's almost like he's wearing like a tight like skull cap, and above that he's wearing some kind of net. I don't know why you'd do that, but it's what it looks like. At some point I need to revisit the colour of the clothing too. Mine's too white. Yeah, anyway, right, so what jumps out as most wrong, other than model changes? I guess because we are taking creative liberty with the background, just because it's too abstract. So maybe let's change the drapery in the background. I'm gonna try to use ankle. This might be a disaster stream, I don't know yet. We'll find out soon. So let's create, well, first off, let's hide you. In fact, I'll show you and hide you. Cool, so I'm going to temporarily hide this background. What did I just extrude? No. Okay, hide you. Create a plane. I haven't done anything with Vencloth for a while, so this would be interesting. I think last time I did something with Vencloth was where was it actually? I can't even remember. Okay, so I'm going to double the length of this. So height, let's go 2. And subdivision size, let's go to 20, just to get it square again. So what I'm wondering is, what's the best way to do this? Obviously we need a ground plane, which needs to be set to be a collider. Wait, right. My brain is completely struggling right now. Effects, of course. Enclave? Great passive collider. Okay, so that's him. And this guy wants to be Enclave. We want to add some divisions first, so let's delete that. Back curtain, sim, mesh, G. Okay, then we're going to do a add divisions, which just adds polygons but without smoothing it. Do something like that for now. Maybe this is too long actually. Okay, well I have an idea. How about we start off at this height, have this animate up to match it. So let's go over 40 frames. Should be enough time. Get that to ground level. Okay, and this guy, let's just grab these top two verts. Well, actually, enclave, create enclave. And I want to add a transform constraint to these guys, which is in the rigging. Oh no, component and constraint. That should be fine. Make sure this is set to play every frame. Yep. Interesting. Let's massively increase this. Why are these constraints constantly moving? Alright, something really weird is happening here. Okay, so without the constraints, what does it do? Okay, let's go. Okay, enclave. Great, enclave. The fuck? Is gravity up? Oh, hello. What the fuck? Okay, does anyone understand what's going on? The normals have faked. This is so odd, I've never seen it do anything like this before. Why are these moving? Oh, it just welds them to each other. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, so if I start playing from here, that's not how it should be moving. Okay, let's keep on doing. Okay, so your nucleus, that's fine. Okay, let's try that again. Enclave. Create enclave. Presets. Let's go with shifting. Sure, why not? And now the normals have gone. Okay, let's go into modeling, mesh display, set to face, mesh display, soft edge. There we go. It should be falling right now. Why is it not falling? This is so weird. Let's hide the undergroup. And just in case it's having any kind of issue, let's hide this too. Surely this should be falling right now. There's no input measure traction. Collisions are enabled. Nucleus? Gravity's on. Something like that shouldn't need more steps. Oh, start frame. Oh, I'm starting on frame 1. Let's try changing that. Something very strange about the way this is acting. Let's try silk. This should be really obvious. Okay, well at least that's beginning to fall, but that feels wrong. Like, there's no way this takes 10 seconds to fall. Really unusual. This is going to be one of those streams, I can tell. Okay, let's try a t-shirt, just in case. So let's create a cube at top. That's not what I want. Effects. Point to surface. Let's do the same on the other side. Okay, that's working. So if I animate this guy to just scale. see how that looks. It's nothing like what I want, but let's just have a quick look to see what that does. So we need to assign the curtain material. Curtain that. And let's get the render group. Don't want render cam C, I want render cam. Modify, create transformations. In a way, this is more interesting, but obviously it's not what we want. Okay, so let's hide you. Get rid of that one. Show the original. Replace with t-shirt again. Okay, so I think what I should do is delete these constraints. And I feel like I need to rotate the whole thing. Let's do like a set amount of rotation there. So let's do -5 should be fine. Then let's do the same rotation on this guy. Okay, and let's grab a few of these. I also want the scale to be a little bit more extreme. And let's get you, kind of arbitrarily placing these. And constraint, point to surface. Okay, maybe it's changed to different. That's something else I wanted to do actually. I want this to move backwards while it goes. And the reason I want it to move backwards is like my thought process behind it is when I look at this. So if I'm interpreting this as a cloth background, we can't deny that there's a gradient from top to bottom. It's a very fast gradient, but if it wasn't that the fabric is painted, the way that I see that is this bit is facing forward and this bit is leaning away from the light. So in my head, that means it's pointing downwards. complete nonsense in terms of actually how cloth would move, but in terms of like a form that would light like this, that's what you'd want. So if I move the plane backwards as this thing droops, it's going to get a bit of friction and just pull itself, like lean this way. I'm gonna try different fabric as well. So let's try silk. That'd be really soft. Something like that works. Where's my... oh shit, okay. That's upsetting. Alright, delete all the history on that. Delete the ankcloth. Delete constraints. Okay, delete output cloth. Okay, cool. I lost the add divisions, so I'm not going to go through and do that, but might be worth creating a new one. No, fuck it, no, because I only want to go up res. So let's just do a add divisions now. Okay, and with that selected, let's go ankcloth. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's just select a few bunches of this guy. I wonder what happens if we select it like this, actually. Point to surface. Okay, and presets. Let's get the... which one was we just using? It was silk, right? So this is going to be a lot slower to send. There's also a lot of wasted polygons, but I'm not too worried. Oh boy, this is a lot slower. Oh, and it's done that normal swing as well. Okay. So let's go. This might take a little while. I'll wait another 100 frames or so. It's only going to get slower as the self intersections, as the self collisions stack up. Not a frame, it stops it. There we go. Let that settle for a moment. Although it's not really making much of a difference up here at this point, so let's just pause that. That could be interesting. This is going to give some funky shapes. So let's just duplicate that. And for now, I'm going to go back to, where is it? So deface, set that to 0, delete history on it, and then I can just get rid of assign our curtain map going to I got 2 geo shapes on this. So let's, in fact I think I have 3. No, that's it's not you. It's not you, it's you. Fuck it, I'll go with the original. Okay, into Arnold, add 1 subdivision, and let's have a quick test. Oh yeah, of course. Modify free transformations. Well, that could be why it was freaking out earlier, because transformations were not frozen. Trying to find what will give me a more interesting background. I don't like the symmetry that this one has. While I'm doing this one, I could just do this. That could look cool. Hide the Pierrot. That could be interesting, actually. Maybe store snapshot. Let me try flipping these. So this crease here is that one there. Don't like that. It's kind of interesting, but no. I don't like this crease. I should have a floor in. So, oh shit, okay. What's it like if I do this? Just hide the cloth again. I'm in the ground. What's happened to the leg? Is that EVs? I kind of preferred the more mellowed out part. Like that. And in terms of like his height relative to the ground, it could still work if he was like sat on a stool or something. Let's get the cloth back in there. This does feel wrong. So how does sequence cam hold up in this? So there's one view that I saw there where it does sneak. Hey Brahim, how you doing, man? So let's have a quick look at okay, so the question we've got to ask ourselves now, oh actually I need to pull this closer to him, that'll be one of the issues. Let me put that back in the screen for a moment. The question we've got to ask now is, as an image, does the old one work better? I think the old one works better, whereas manually modelled. So, I wonder what I could do. I mean, I could up-res the old one and sim it, but with like a lot of mesh attraction. That would kind of start to add wrinkles and details. Let's just give this a moment just to get at least one pass done for the whole thing. The collar's the slowest thing, so once it gets past that, it'll be fine. I feel like as an image this works a lot better, and the reason this works better for me is that the brightest part of the character's face is against the darkest part of the cloth, whereas this feels really uniform. I could fix that by turning it, like by rotating it, but as an image this just works better. So I do need to kind of pay some attention to that, I think. And the one on the right feels more faithful to the original ref, even though it's not, like this gradient doesn't exist, but again, as an image it feels better. So I feel like adding detail to this might be the way to go. Granted, it does also look like we're missing this stuff from here, which I think is UV based, so that'll be why, because the UVs on this are different size. Yeah. So, what if I store a snapshot of that? Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay. So for now, I'll just delete you. These two can stay in the scene, but I'll hide them. Let's go to that original back curtain. And okay, so I need to erase this guy. Let's just make the polygons a bit more uniform. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm gonna try out the. Oh no, never mind. Ignore what I was going to say. Let's just make this a bit more uniform. So we got this as a starting point. Set face, soften edge. Let's go up a subdivision actually. How beefy is your PC to render on the fly, or to be able to make changes and render on the fly? So I've got 64 gig of RAM and a the GPU is just a 270 Super. I'm planning on upgrading to a 3090 hopefully soon. I'm waiting for the prices to come back down. There's no point buying them at this point. And CPU, I've got a Ryzen 3950X, so 16 core, 3.5 gigahertz, I think. Well, that's something again I want to upgrade hopefully soon. I'm waiting basically until the next like Threadrippers sort of thing. Let's call this a res. Smooth. Okay. And then let's just grab. Okay, so what could we do? I don't want to shoot it. Modify free transformations. Okay, so let's just grab, set this guy to be some enclave. Just grab all the top verts, do a constraint component to that. Okay, and so now let's go in and change the cloth preset. Again, let's try silk. It's interesting that because of the let's undo this actually. So I'm just going to throw in some divisions here. So it looks like it goes to the nearest vertex, so and smooth it. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the age of my PC, but I'm not too concerned about it yet. Maybe once I start grooming. I don't know how intense performance was, but I imagine a lot. Groom can be quite intense, although if you want to be an animator, your PC requirements aren't really as high as other departments, to be honest. Like, as long as you can run a rig real time, no real issue. Okay, so I'm going to grab these again. Oh wait, I need to put enclave back on this guy. Now constrain it. And constraint component to point to surface. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's add some tension. We could do wind. How do you do wind in this? Is it in the nucleus? Yeah, there we go. Nice. Bit much, maybe. I need to add more divisions, I think. So smooth. Cuff. Okay, so let's go to enclave shape. Presets. Back to silk. Then let's get some wind in there. Oh, mom at it. What am I looking for right now? Let's just wait. This might be moving a bit further than I wanted it to. Loving the tunes. What's the playlist? The playlist is royalty-free chill hop. Let's see if I can bring that over. There you go. Guess this definitely hasn't gone to plan. Let's lower that wind speed. Let's go like 3 or something. Put that 4. But add way more noise. Actually, I can reduce the smooth face. If I set that to 0, I can preview it. Just make it look broadly the same as it did before, but now it has an extra little layer of detail. Yeah, so I think I'm happy with that. So let's add that subdivision back in. Let that simulate for a little bit. I'm going to let this get to frame 250, I think. Although it could be worth changing the simulation preset. Because silk, I mean, obviously this wouldn't be silk. But silk will also get the most detail out. In fact, yeah, let's not make it silk. No, we'll leave him alone. Presets. Wonder what airbag would look like. Is anything happen? Oh, there we go. Not too keen. Let's try. Burlap wouldn't be great. Let's try chiffon. Oh, this might make some cool shit. Oh, it seems to be pushing it quite far. Yeah, it's pushing it quite a lot. Wait, what happens if I set my wind direction to down? That's the nucleus I want. Okay. I wonder why the controls look different. So wind direction, let's set you to 0 and set you to -1. I'm also just going to turn off the selection highlight. I don't think this is doing anything. What happens if I set this to... Actually, rather than have it go sideways, let's have it go, I was about to say backwards. Let's have it go forwards for now. Oh, I need to. Yeah, it's not what I want at all. It's not going to give me more detail, is it? Okay, so let's just say to 1. Let it do its thing for maybe 80 frames, just see what it looks like. Basically what this is doing right now is taking it from I don't have selection highlighting. That's what it's doing. It's still keeping those same general shapes that I give it, but adding a little bit of variety to them. This might be a bit too chaotic, but we'll find out in a moment. So let's hide that for now. And I'm going to duplicate you, go back to the first frame, and hide you. So this is what this looks like. And go into render cam and hide the clothing. Let that clean up for a moment. The noise always kind of throws off the values. Oh god. Naked old dude. Be thankful I haven't given him nipples. See, to me this is more interesting. It still kind of keeps that gradient. It's less clearly defined, but I think that's a good thing. And actually, with this having a less strong gradient, it feels more faithful to this as well. So that's I think I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna get rid of you, and you. Go to view, test resolution, and start render. Okay, so that's kept the old resolution. No, it hasn't. Cool. Let's go like that. do its thing for a moment. Just get one pass out at least. I need to do a quick test actually. Let me unhide the Grim. The center line and the old gradient was drawing my attention away from it. Yeah, the center line was quite attention grabbing, wasn't it? This one's still, it's still there. It's just going sideways now and is a little bit less clear. It also feels more like cloth now than a wall with a curve in it. So let's let this do a pass, and then I'll pick a section just to see if I'm happy with the size of the creases. Although I do need to look into the cloth pattern soon. Although this will help as well because this will distort it a little bit. This neck is missing too much volume at the bottom, isn't it? It's growing too thin. I'll have to sort that out at some point. Hopefully that doesn't cause issues with clothing. This pass is the one that starts to make things look even like a little bit clean. So I'll let this one finish and then I'll region render. The extra diffuse I think has helped the beard quite a lot. Granted this is too low res to tell exactly what's going on, but I like how you can see the gums just like peeking through there on these super glossy lips. Noise looks like stubble. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, it's actually stubble here. But yeah, the noise helps. Let's see what the new. Well, I'll let this reach the top first, and then I'll reach around a small bit of the chin. And that'll do. So the chin's doing. Yeah, I think the new values have helped. so let's pick a small section of this. I am tempted to do like a version of him without his like hat and stuff, and a version of him with, like, you know, because I'm gonna be doing a version without the face paint. So obviously I'm doing all this now. Like, it'd be, you know, kind of a waste of time to not show it. Yeah, this is working. Oh, he doesn't have oh, selection highlighting. Should have turned off. He doesn't have Arnold settings, does he? Oh, it does. Okay. This seems overly smooth. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a version of him without like the hat and stuff, and the face paint. And I think if I do that, it gives me a chance to maybe do like a hair groom as well. Like, even if it's just a really sparse one, and then when he's got the hat on, I can just hide the groom because obviously it's been flattened. I think that could be a bit of fun. Not sure, still kind of torn on that. Yeah, I think I quite like the new background, so we'll keep that. I do really want to rework the eye at some point.
You are now listening to Back When.
The eye, like, it looks okay, but like the caustics aren't really strong enough. Like, if I bring this guy in, like, this is a much lighter tone at the bottom, but a darker one at the top. And I don't want to do the fake texture trick, where you just like lighten the texture at the bottom and darken it at the top. I do want to do it with proper shading. And it's not a million miles away. Not quite there. Okay, so I'm gonna use the snapshot. I want to do something quickly. Just gonna cool. Let's assign the painted skin. Where is it? Painted skin. Just gonna region render it. Yeah, I need to obviously change the paint colour and add a little bit of subsurface as well to it. It would be cool to see if the original's projection mapped. Yeah, I mean, the main camera is lined up. Like, it all lines up. There's a few little tweaks that I need to do. But, like, obviously the body's not lined up yet. Like, I need to get him in pose, but I need to get all the proportions right before getting him in pose, because all the cloth needs to be done as well. But yeah, in terms of, like, painting on, I would do something like that, because I'm trying to... one of the reasons of doing this project is because I want to get better at hand painting and hand sculpting everything. So I want to avoid projection where possible. I'm just trying to learn how to do things manually. Yeah, this is starting to come together. I need to do some paint color variation on the white paint. I'm still not entirely sure what this is, this mottling. Like, it could be like chunks where the paint is a bit thicker and it's causing like shadows to be cast, but I'm not sure what mechanic would give that, because like when I find actual dried face paint, it doesn't look anything like that. I guess the closest you can find is this, but that's not really paint, I don't think. Or it's not just paint. I think this is more like dirt and dust and stuff, to be honest. Also, this hair looks really cool. So I think this is what I'm going to go for. Which is going to be a fucking nightmare. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, to be honest. At least I don't have any idea yet how I'm going to do it. I'm going to look into it at some point, like properly deep dive. One thing that's quite interesting actually, because the paint on the bottom of the nose is flaked off, it kind of feels like a bull nose. I guess the nose ring is playing into that, but like because this unbroken white line, it does feel like a bull's nose. Or like ram horns or something. It's really cool. This one's a little bit too smooth. Although the eyebrows are good ref. I have no idea how to do that either. I mean, my eyebrows are a lot sparser, so it doesn't quite translate, but yeah. And then this one's more just like close up, like how the chunks look. Because I'm still unsure whether or not I'm going to do geometry for like the chunks. Definitely could, but it'd be very heavy geometry wise to do that. So you think this feels like the paint wearing off his cheeks? Yeah, I mean, that could be an interpretation of it. Yeah, actually, that's probably more accurate than mine. The reason I think that I kind of think it's bumps though is like here and here. Like unless the paint's flaked off in these exact areas where you'd get an increase in volume. I don't know, the tones are the same, like here, 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 here. It's all the same tone. So it's hard to tell if that's the paint flaking off or shadow. Because they feel a bit too well placed. Like they feel like they're just at the shadow areas. Like I don't think any of these are really pointing to the left, like any of these flake things. They're all pointing to the right, which is where the shadow is. That gives a really interesting look. I'm painting like a little bit of like a nose run thing in the paint. Yeah, it's starting to get there. Okay, so let's get you over there. So let's reassign the skin material. Cool. Just throw a snapshot while I'm at it. But I'm gonna save that. No, I'm not. Not really worth saving. Cool. So I've got 25 minutes left. What can I achieve in 25 minutes? Hey, what's the most urgent thing to do? I get a little bit of frizz on the ears. Let's do that. Outliner. Let's currently hide Peach Fuzz. Show the Peach Fuzz groom. And I want to just add these length of guides. Currently it's fully procedural, so it's just going off the guide length. So let's sample the length here. 0.1. So the strands 0.1, 0.02, so 5 CVs, and just quickly paint those. do get fluff on the outside of the ear, you don't really get much on the inside. So I'm just gonna throw some guides. And to be fair, the fluff you get up here is very subtle. It's more of a silhouette breaker than an actual coverage. The way I've got it set up at the moment is it will only grow hair within a certain distance of the guides. So I can just kind of paint where I want the guides, where I want the hair to be by placing guides. But when I get to the actual stage of like detailing these grooms and like grooming them properly rather than whatever this is, I'll be painting maps for placement, because this is an incredibly inefficient way because it has to scatter hairs all over the mesh and then like get rid of the ones. So let's conform. There we go. So let's hide that again. Show you. Now we have a little bit of hair on the ears. Cool. Get back into here. Do the tiniest region render. Not there though. Here. And it's completely invisible. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. What would this look like if I just like do a rectangle? How the hell do people pick these up? Just curious. It's kind of interesting. That's like kind of cool. Right, so what's the next thing I can try to achieve? We do need the head stubble at some point, but that's not worth trying to get yet. I've got to the point where I've retopologized my character's base model. When it comes to the beard, when it comes to the beard, do I groom and then stick a rig in the groom, or do I rig a beard mesh and then groom over the top? When's your deadline? That's the most important bit. And does your project actually require groom? Like, is the art style something that needs it? Because although I love groom and I love to see people do grooms, I much prefer for people to not do it like at all, because it massively complicates projects. It's something you should only really do if you're sure you're willing to put up with all the breakage, because everyone underestimates how much time it takes to recover. It's not something I cover in the course. I don't talk about rigging. You'll want to look into shark tacos, the documentation. So let me find that. Shark tacos exchange. So this document, I'll put this in there. This goes over rigging hair. Where is it? This is a very old doc, but it's also there we go. So they talk about rigging hair here if you want to do that. It depends on the look of beard you're going for. If you're going for like a very dense beard, then you can probably get away with grooming on a beard mesh. But if you want that kind of sparse, not fluffy, but like if you want it to feel like you could put your fingers into it, then you can't really do it on a mesh. Like if you want it to feel solid, like it's got a solid silhouette, then by all means. But yeah. Okay, so we got all that. Let's have a quick go at.
No, but I think it's changing. That's the main thing.
That,
I think that's why the awards have changed.
ref
Because
cam.
the kids are changing for a start, and so is the music changing.
Why can't I select anything? Okay, so I need camera tools. So you can see actually how the hat isn't quite lining up. Like it lines up over. Well, that's why is that gone so weird? Oh shit! Yeah, I never actually got around to figuring that out. So for some reason, his head ends around here, but the hat just kind of keeps going. Like it's way off. I don't know why. So I'll line it up on the front, but like the top, I don't really understand why it's doing that. Because his head has roughly the right kind of proportions right now, but it requires it to go like fucking massive. So yeah, for now, I'll just line it up here. So let's just drag that along the skin. So that's not lined up either, so let's just put it all. This looks like it's falling off really quickly.
It's changing. That's the main thing. You see, I think that's why the awards have changed, because the kids are changing for a start, and so is the music changing.
Right, so deadline is the 10th of May. I've cut down the actual amount of animation to 30 seconds, if not less. I've got that bookmark, thank you. Yeah, he's got a massive looking head. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this. I think it's some kind of hat thing going on. Let's just quickly inflate this area. Because like, if I wanted to match it, it's not a hassle. It just requires getting to this size, which just seems completely unfeasible to me. Like if I actually give that a legitimate go, like I'm not just fucking about. Stuff like that, and let's just get some on the edges too. Look how fucking big it has to get. Let me just do the same on the other side as well, actually. Do something like that. Like, that's mental. And that's not even compensating for the fact that it still doesn't fit the back. Like that is just incorrect. So what I think's going on there is there's a little bit of a hint here. So let me just do this. Go to the snipping tool and do this. So if I move that over there. I don't know how clearly it comes across, but here there's a few lines that give a hint as to what's happened. So you see those lines, right? If we connect that up like this, it gives us a hat, like a really big hat. And Pierrot's did used to have a hat in this style. Granted, this squareness isn't correct, but you could get these hats. These were a thing. Let me see if I can find it. Pierrot hat. If I go into images, or like old stage play hats, the Pierrot hat was a different shape. There's an image I saw, it's kind of like this kind of thing. It's a different style. God, if I could remember what they were, that'd be really helpful. God, yeah, so it wasn't specifically a Pierrot hat. What was the name of that hat type? Either way, they did. If I can find it later, that'd be great. But they did sometimes have, like, well, not this type of hat specifically, but they did have hats with rims from time to time. Maybe it wasn't Pierrot's, maybe it was a stage play thing. But either way, you get images like this kind of come up quite often. And I think originally he was going to draw it with one. And, like, at some point, he's decided to not put that in. I don't know why. It suggests then that this person, like, while he was painting and took the hat off and he decided just to, you know, he preferred it without the hat or something. But I think that's why he's got this massive fucking scale, because I think his actual head would end around here. Maybe there. Stuff like that. Well, if your eyes are halfway, so his mouth is open, so let's call his jaw there. So we get that distance, put it on again. Stuff like that. Assuming his mouth closed, so that would be maybe a little bit higher still. So either way, you're not getting even close to the top of this thing. So that's why I think it's got so much volume. I think it's something to do with his hat. And he just kind of never really corrected for it. It says erase that. And this ghostly hat thing is something I've been considering sneaking in. It'd be a really cool, like, shading exercise to do that, I think. In fact, fuck it, I have 10 minutes. Let's throw together the world's quickest hat. Well, not the world's quickest. In hell, I've probably done faster in the past. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to start with a cube. And let's smooth this. That will do for now. Delete the bottom half. Something like that. So just as a proof of concept, I want to try something. Let's not turn it into a fucking sombrero, shall we? So if we did something like this, and then let's bulk it out a little bit here. So if we threw a material on this and do something like standard surface, hyper shade, go into sampler info, that's not what I want. Facing ratio is what we want. And something like plug you into opacity. Then let's go into here, tie the costume. Oh, background cloth's gone. But let's get the cloth back in, but only if I make this material black. In fact, let's create another ramp. Do something like this. Let's throw a quick displacement on there as well. Kill this right there for a moment. That gives like the general idea. Gets a kind of ghostly hat thing going. I'd have to model it properly, like I'd have to figure out what the actual shape is, like find some ref somewhere. But that achieves the general look. Maybe as well I need to do something a little bit more fancy on the visual. Do that maybe. So this to smooth maybe. Hell, I could even shade it as a volume to give it a genuinely like hazy, ghostly thing. The interesting bit is actually I'd have to do a projection to mask it away from the face, because it just about peaks in here and then disappears. Same over here. So I'd have to project something. But that could be, you know, pretty easy, to be honest. I think that gives an interesting thing. I'd have to curl the ends, which I think it's doing anyway, to get like this. I have no idea how I'd get this line without breaking the shape that's modelled. Unless it's smooth at the front. It doesn't curl up, it only curls up at the back. That would achieve this look. Let's just super quickly lower the opacity of this. And go to the correct camera. No projecting it all by hand, remember. That's not how that works. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna throw the clothes back in and start in the stream render. But I think this gives an interesting look that is in the ref, like it is there. Once you know it's there, you can't get rid of it. It was the same as the massive head. Now that I've noticed how big the fucking head is, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm going to try to find a way to avoid that. Go for something that's more physically based. But yeah, let's quickly do this. Oh, one of these shouldn't be visible. There we go. Cool. Well, that's it for this stream. We've actually made a bit more progress than I expected. A little bit of work on the background. Adjusted the hat slightly, although I will need to re-UV it. And created a little bit more peach fuzz. Fixed the stubble like kind of colour. And added this ghostly hat, which again at some point I'll have to model to actually line up with this thing. Yeah, I think it's gone pretty well. I need to figure out if I want to match the shadowing here. If I do, I'm going to need to do some really tricky lighting. I could technically achieve this shadow by just putting a light close to his face from like camera view, but that would also completely change the lighting on his cheek and on his nose, so that's not really an option. Of course I could light link it and completely fake it, but then we're going to start getting really uncanny feeling. I don't want to do that. But yeah, it'd be good if I could. I guess it's going to come from the projection, but I need to make sure that this hat isn't affecting the net below it too much. at the wrong angle, isn't it? Yeah, I'll have to do a proper lineup of that at some point. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end the stream there. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I'll probably do another stream either Monday or Tuesday night. And then, yeah, next Thursday I'm flying to Manchester to go see my family. So I won't be streaming late next week and the weekend. So yeah, next stream will be the last one for roughly a week. Unless I do one, yeah, maybe I'll do Monday night, Wednesday night. But yeah, anyway, I'll obviously see what's going on with that. But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it or learned something or enjoyed watching me suffer with the cloth sims. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. Bye guys.